Welcome to Mastering the Chaos.
It's your boy, John. To get things kicked off, we will be talking about our passions and our favorite dishes. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go first. So my favorite dish, hands down, is Dili Blanc, sauce pois blanc, boulette avec sauce viande. If you know, you know. And my passion, right, that I picked up this year was running. I joined the EO Run Club. Shout out EO Run Club. And yeah, that's me.
All right. My name is Wensley, aka Wens. One thing I'm passionate about is soccer. I like to watch it and play it. One of my favorite dishes would be pasta. You know, just all type of pastas. And yeah, that's about it.
The name is Phil. My passion is anything that has to do with physical activity, and my love is anything that goes with Lalo.
That boy love him some Lalo. What's going on, family? It's your boy Werlins, Lens for short. And some of our passions, one in particular, is using the art of barbering to service men, to give men their confidence back. And some of my favorite foods include lasagna. It has to be Haitian lasagna. And I love me some fried plantains. It has to be sweet. And zizie to top it off. If you know, you know. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the bottom of this. What is this? The purpose of this channel. I welcome you once more to Mastering the Chaos, a platform where we as a collective, gentlemen, as a collective, as one mind, we're going to come together to use our walk of life in mastering masculinity, a realm that is so chaotic that so many young men in today's world are lost looking for guidance. We are here not because we're the experts, but because we're going through it ourselves. And we've found some solutions after we failed time and again and again. So we're going to use categories that men feel are burdensome, such as finances, the spirituality of it all, dealing with women. What else? But can't name all of it right now, but these are three great factors that when we talk about manhood are always talked about. So as we go through it, we're going to master our chaos and we're going to come back and pour into young men through this channel, a place where we master the chaos.
So the idea for this group, right, it came together while I was reading a book by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. And it talked about a mastermind principle. And the mastermind principle is basically a group of minds coming together towards a definite goal and working together in a spirit of harmony. Seated before me here, I have three beautiful brothers. And the first thing that we were able to build together was our bodies. You know, I believe it was summer 2021, correct?
Yeah, around that time.
21. During COVID, everybody was stuck inside their house. So me and my brother Sebastian, the cameraman, God bless you, we put some equipment in the backyard and we started to get active. I started posting and a lot of people started working out with me, which was amazing, phenomenal. I loved it, you know, because some days I didn't have a motivation, but everybody hitting my phone like, yo, John, let's work out. I'm like, let's do it. But in the midst of that, a lot of people fell off. A lot of my homies that I love to work out, as much as I love them, they fell off. But these three young men right here, they stood with me. You know, they gave me the motivation day in and day out, and I appreciate them so much. So as I was reading that book, and I'm thinking, multiple minds coming together in the spirit of harmony towards a definite goal, who better than these three young men to, you know, foster this channel and just be able to create a platform, a community, to be able to guide young men looking for that clarity as we enter into manhood. Because at times it could seem real dark. We feel like we don't know where we're going. It's very uncertain. But I thank God that I got God on my side and I got my three brothers on my side too.
God did.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, that's how this idea for this group came together.
All right. So for me, I think this group is special. And what I think makes this group special is that we've known each other since we're like kids, you know, grew up in church together and all that. And the thing is, through growth, like, as men, we came together. You know what I mean? So the thing is, our life experiences, what we went through emotionally, physically, everything. And like, we got together, talk about them, hear all the criticism, give advice. And I don't know. I don't know who does this. I don't know how many people is doing this between their group of friends as male in general. You know what I mean? But for me, I think this is really special. As a group, as men in general, this is really special to me. And that's about it. Yep.
Rate that for me, yo. 1 to 10. How special are we gonna master the chaos? 1 to 10. Talk to me.
1 to 10.
Bro, that's a 10. What you thinking about, bro? That's a
Nah,
10,
man,
bro.
I'm thinking like 10,000, bro.
All right, all
Like,
right.
you know what I mean?
Phil,
10,000.
What you thinking, yo?
So, not to spill the beans, but to inform you guys, we have many things planned in addition to the videos that we have coming in the future. We have guest appearances, and we also have personal life stories to help you guys, as our supporters and our viewers, understand our mission and our purpose as you guys embark on this journey with us. So stay tuned.
I remember one of the first time I met one of my brothers on the table, Jonathan. Bro, we was at church in the kids' chapel. And I think I would assume that because of my character and my personality, I may have gotten on his nerve. And before I knew it, I was up in the air. This man turned me into football. I'm Haitian. The man's is American. He loves some football. But I don't know what I did to the man's. Until this day, he swear he did something to me. But we're brothers in Christ now. We've gone through many walks of life together. I love you, my brother. I appreciate you, and I'm glad we're on mastering the chaos together.
Amen, amen. Yo, take note of that. Yo, I killed him with kindness. All right, that's how we gotta do our brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Killed him with
Killed him with kindness.
There's something that actually comes to mind. One of the most funniest memories I have with Wellens. He came to pick me up, and we were leaving my street. We were young. We just got the license, so he was doing a K-turn, and we're backing up, but the car's not moving. So he starts putting more gas into it. So I turn around, and I seen that the whole time we're backing up, we're literally putting another car behind us on the curb. So the car is on the curb. He looks at me, and I look at him, and then I go like, "Yo, somebody's watching us." So he completes the K-turn, and then we speed down the street, and then there's this car that's following us, and we're just like, "Yo, you think this following us?" So we're already paranoid. So we're just swerving. So we're just trying to get out the way. And I promise you, when we ended up back on the street, we just like, "You think they saw us?" And I'm like, "I don't know," but I never forgot that. Like, we backed the car up on that. Promise
Crazy,
you had
bro.
to be there. You had to be there.
It was actually a bike that was following us.
Yo,
Some Hispanic kid is on the bike making turns after. I'm like, yo, he going a little too fast on the bike. I'm like, this a GTA moment right here. Left and right, bro. Left, right. We was going out the waters. You feel me?
Yo,
But yeah, good times, man.
5-star
Good
mission.
times.
Nah, but as y'all talking, I'm thinking back to when we went to Pennsylvania. We went to Pennsylvania maybe for 4th of July weekend. We was real young, and we had 4 Loco. So yo, we young and we got 4 Loco. That's that's an equation for absolute disaster. Okay, we had my man's Phil over here throwing his guts up. I'm on the couch on the floor in a fetal position. Finito. I don't even know where Wentz was at. He was somewhere.
Once he was,
I was local. Me, like, the funniest moment I remember, man, us being young again. Let's just say we was trying out the za. You know what I mean? So the boys came to my house and everybody was trying the thing. But we have religious parents and all that, so they don't mess with any of that. So, but we experiences. So the boys came, we trying to, our little blunt, whatever, a little weed, trying to smoke it. And we decided to go to in front of the house to smoke it, like right on the balcony, thinking that the wind gonna pick it up and then, go with the smell. But nah, bro, this smell went all the way in the house. Like woke my parents up, everything. This man like, yo, who is smoking this? Who's the man? That was a we got in, like everybody ran at one point. It was just me. It was my house, so I had to say and explain what happened. And I had to, of course, lie, say, oh, it was just like with some of my friends that came to pick something up and all that. And they were smoking it. And I couldn't tell them to not smoke it at the time. So I just let them. So yeah, I had to lie. That was just like, to me, it was funny.
Crazy times, yo. But as we talking about this, man, bring it back to how we got here. It's really crazy how you could have something in the mind and you bring it in 3D form. And we always speak that it's the psychology of understanding what you're doing. Sometimes you're doing things and you're not aware of it. But I love the fact that we know this very fact that it starts in the mind and you believe it and you pursue that long enough, it's gonna be here in 3D form. And we've come together and we said, how can we do better as men? Right? And ideas were thrown. Somebody said YouTube, somebody said this business, and here we are. Here we are, day one. We're making it happen. How beautiful is that, man? So the sky is the beginning and never the limit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna master chaos until the day we gone.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So like what's one thing that, you guys think we've been talking about or we've learned like through all of our conversations that we had. So what's like can one of y'all tell me like what's one thing that, that's positive enough that we can share right now? What do you think? And it could be about a book you read and we talked about a situation that happened and then we talked about it between us. Just something.
Here's one for thought. Here's one for thought. I believe we live in a society nowadays where, as men, they enforce this grind, grind, grind mentality. Grind till the wheels fall off. It's like to the point where they tell you to isolate yourself, get that money, get that money, get that money. I'm saying whatever else they include in that package. But I think you miss so much out on life and the challenges that life has for you. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's good to isolate, but when is too much isolation too much? And food for thought, isolation, the devil gets you quick. When you isolated by yourself, you have no positive role models or people in your environment to anchor you to think correctly and the standards that you should be following. It's easy to get picked off as one than to be picked off as a group. So, for example, me with my brothers, I did go through my isolation moment and it bettered me, but it came to a point where I'm like, the next challenge is to do what I'm doing while being in the crowd. And obviously, I monitor my crowd, hence why I got my brothers with me. But I think we should draw the fine line between how much isolation we need and how much impact that the right people have in our lives within the community. What y'all think on that?
So what I can say on that is intention. Intention is everything. Intention is everything, and everything is best in moderation. So the way I see isolation specifically is when you're nothing necessary, of course, like nothing is wrong or evil about isolation, but when you have a certain intention or a reason or a why behind the reason why you're isolating, it can be so enlightening, so empowering especially as a man, because when you're in isolation, that's when, like you say, that's when you're more susceptible to the devil's tricks. But in doing so, you're able to battle and understand your demons or the way that the devil tries to get to you. So by isolating yourself and necessarily dealing with, let's say, the devil's tricks, it can better help you in your journey with not only yourself and with other people, but with your personal self, with your personal demons, with your thoughts. And in terms of the moderation part, everything is good in moderation. So even if you are intending on doing a period of isolation, it's good to have periods where you take a break. Let's say you've been isolating yourself for a week. You take a break one day out the week, and you just call somebody. You communicate with your brothers or your family members just to still be a part, just to moderate, just to make sure that that you still keep up with yourself in the outside world. So that's my take on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get what you're saying, and I get what he said too. But him, like, mentioning like the religious part about the devil and this and that. I mean, like you said, it has to be a reason for the isolation, right? So, for example, let's just say you isolate to better yourself financially. But like him coming with the religious part, when you're doing that, like God gotta still be there. You know what I mean? Like you doing it, like you trying to better yourself financially, but that with God. You know what I mean? But the isolation is mainly focused on the financial part. Now, if you isolate yourself, like to get closer to God, right? That main focus is to isolate yourself to get closer to God. It has nothing to do with financially or being away from people. You know what I mean? You isolate yourself to get like, closer to God. That's how I see it. It's just like, you categorize your isolation. Yeah, that's how I see it.
So like you give it a purpose. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think to piggyback what you were saying as well, Phil, that to shed some light on isolation, it's just like a seed, A seed has to be planted in the ground in darkness, until it's ready to sprout up and receive the rain and receive the sunlight to fully continue to grow. So isolation, it definitely can be viewed in a good light and a bad light, but isolation that brings us closer to God is something I think that we should all be focused on. When we isolated, to think about how is this growing me? How am I, what I'm saying? What am I learning from this? As Phil said, we fighting our demons, because there's some battles that have to be fought in the dark just with God so we can come out and, bring that wisdom back out to our brothers, to our sisters, and just to continue to add to the collective and, help our communities.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I think we were all in agreement, and I think the word moderation brought it home. I find the middle line between the two. Phil was saying, when you're in isolation, the devil could easily attack you. That's the challenge you're facing right there, to stay on track and fend off the devil. But then there's also the challenge on the other line. Keep doing what you're doing and not be distracted by the community that you've put yourself back into from isolation. So we're all in agreement, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I love the part where you mentioned about God, focusing on God simply. That's the standard, at least for me, right? And in the Bible it says, if you focus on the kingdom of God, everything will be added. So having that peace of mind, knowing that if I focused on this one thing, not money, because you get the money go. You're just focusing on money as life is going by. But if you focus on kingdom forever, everlasting, you get that. You get what's on earth meant for you, and you get more. You lose nothing. You lose nothing.
And it's a beautiful, I love what you just said, because the crazy part is sometimes or over time, I think there's been a misconception or a misunderstanding that when you're trying to seek the kingdom of God or talk, you're supposed to seek something outside of yourself. And what I find so beautiful is that you don't even have to go too far to seek God or create a better relationship with God, because God is literally inside of every one of us. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
Everybody. And you just gotta reach for it. That's it. Just gotta reach for it.
And I think that's the best way that we even able to help our brothers or our sisters, by seeing God in them. Because a lot of time our brothers and sisters, or I myself, I may be at fault, but we able to restore our brothers and sisters when we see Christ in our brothers and sisters. Because the truth about every single one of us is Christ. Everything was made by Christ and through Christ. And so if our brother has fallen, I think it says in the book of Proverbs, 2 is better than 1. Because if one fall, the other is there to pick them up. So if you've gone astray from the will of your Father to move in peace, to move in love, to move in joy, I'm there to restore you. I see the God within you. I'm off you that helping hand to pick you back up. And that's why community, having a brotherhood, is so important. A lot of times we allow anger or greed, pride, ego to come in between us. But those things just continue to separate us, and they lead us more to death. But unity, brotherhood, community, that's where love is found, joy is found, togetherness is found. So I know the enemy, the one way that he does attack us is through isolation and making us feel like we in this walk by ourselves, but we really in this together.
So, quick question. So because we found each other thanks to God, God's will, God's power, and right now we're at a point in our journey where we're doing this together. So as we're doing this together, I also understand that we also deal with things personally on a personal independent level sometimes. And then we come together and we share with each other ways that we've done things to try to help each other on our journey. So for somebody that's still searching for their group, their mastermind group, their community, what are some things that's been helping you guys on your journey, at least this year? One thing, what's a quote, a realization, or just a tool that you guys picked up on that helped with that's been helping you on your own personal journey, just for those who are still haven't found their community yet?
I think the best thing to do. One quote. Yes, everybody has some advice to give, right? And in different lights, you might find one is wrong for your particular circumstance, or another may not be as fitting. But for me, one quote I said, I'm gonna pick and run with it. Not only do I recognize before I run with the quote, not only do I recognize I have a leader and I choose God, but then to implement that, let me be 1% better every day. With that 1%, and I'm following God's standard, if I mess up, when I mess up, we're human beings, we're gonna make mistakes. I learned from it. The cliche, so quote unquote, sounds like a cliche, but it's not in truth. If you're doing 1% every day better, following that standard, when you fail, it's not a L, quote unquote. It's a lesson, right? If you could learn from that lesson from yesterday and do 1% better, I'm talking about yesterday you did 1,000 things. Today you did 1,000 things and one thing better, and you failed that one thing. Review that one thing, but I'd say don't focus on that one thing too much. The bigger picture is so much grander. So pick up something else while you put the puzzle pieces for that particular segment. Once you have that, or as you're moving forward, you look in the rear view, you might say, oh, I left that piece back and I couldn't figure it out. It fits right here. So 1% every day, knowing who's your leader, knowing who's your standard, I think that's going to take you far, far. And you can't do it by yourself. I'm saying as you go, you're going to recognize people who's supposed to help you in your walk of life. And then you're going to find confidants, people who's supposed to be there with you and share the vision and going to keep supporting you long after the vision doesn't serve them. And you're going to find the people that's just there for the moment, for this season. So recognize people for what the role they serve in your life. Don't misuse people, but you are able to use people. Just like you're going to serve people, people will serve you. Just stay on the right frequency and 1% every day. You'll be all right.
So just to elaborate on that, it's just that, one thing I've learned is that, just about finding your community or whatever, assess whatever you're going through at the moment, like that group of person that you're looking for, or that group of people you're looking for. It's just reach out, say something, like whatever you're going through. That person might be in front of you, like you've known that person since you were like a child. That person was in front of you the whole time. But just because you not mentioning what you're going through, not saying what's wrong with you, all of that, you won't know that person will be able to help you or get you through whatever you're going through. Like that's what I've learned. It's just perfect example. Just my brother John, I've known you guys forever. You know what I mean? And then I was in a dark time. All I had to do was say something, and then look at us now. You know what I mean? So very grateful.
Look at us now. How does the song go?
I'm getting paper.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
That's it.
But to answer your question too, one thing that has helped me this year is a quote that goes, "Seek first to understand before being understood." Because a lot of times just it's natural. We're human. You know, we have a natural instinct to just look for our own interests first. But to piggyback off what Lent said, right? We should be always in a mindset of service and servitude of how can I serve my brother or sister. You know, if we're in a disagreement, let me really try to understand you because I love you. I know that you're coming from a place of love. So let me try to understand you more before, you know, just labeling you this or labeling you that. Let me try to understand you more. And in me understanding you more, I know that you'll become more open to hearing and understanding my perspective as well. So yeah, just seeking first to understand before being understood.
For me, what what really helped me when I'm because as once you say, like, it is good to reach out, but there's times when it just feels as though sometimes it's just hard to reach out, or it just feels impossible just because of the just the weight or the whatever you're burning with. Sometimes it feels like you feel alone. So when you're in that mindset of you think you're alone, but at the same time you still want to help yourself, what's best for me, and one thing I can say I really implemented this year, and although I wasn't consistent every single day, I can say I was way more consistent than I was 2 or 3 years ago. Journaling has changed my life, because when you journal, not only do you get personal, but you also it's personal, but you get deep, because you once you realize that this journal is for you and that everything you write is basically for you. You start saying things in the journal. You start writing things down. You start remembering things that you wouldn't have told somebody else, or something that you're too embarrassed to tell somebody else. And when you're sitting there reading what you wrote, it's kind of like you're having a outer body experience, because at one point you start flowing, you start writing, and then when you read it over, you learn things about yourself and you realize things about yourself. And that's one thing I could say, that's something that helped me when I'm on a personal level, to help myself. Journaling definitely helped me, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, like I'm pretty sure you guys got the gist now of what this is about to be about, what we're gonna be doing on this channel. You know what I mean? So look forward to it. You know what I mean? That's what we're gonna be talking about. And if you feel like this is the type of thing that you need to be listening to, like to try and better yourself, you know what I mean, as a young man. I mean, a couple of women could take, a couple of things from here too. Yeah, it doesn't really exclude you guys. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing on here. So anybody else got anything to say?
I like how you mentioned women because as men are figuring it out, women looking from outside in, you could learn about men, whether it be your dad, your significant other, or your friends. We're talking about topics here that's a great deal in men coping in this world. So if you're trying to figure out how to best love or coexist with the men in your life, this is the place to be. You heard it from me. This is the place to be. Come on.
You heard it from him. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What we're gonna end this with, Phil? What you think? You got a little something
Yeah,
for
you
him,
got a little
Phil?
something for us, Phil.
I think you got a little something for him.
Yo, funny enough, because I think Phil, man, be a little poetic sometimes. I think he has something special
I
to end it off.
appreciate y'all.
Yeah, let me hear some. Let me hear some.
All right,
What it say? What it say?
All right. Striving on self-mastery, we knew we had the audacity. Along with our potential and abundant capacity, we decided to create a platform on how to master this reality.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
Oh, again,
Let
run
me
it
hear
back.
one
Run
more
it
time.
back.
Somebody in the back.
For the people in the
Somebody
back,
in the back
for the people
say
in
it
the
one more
back.
time. Word.
All right, for the people in the back. Striving on self-mastery, we knew we had the audacity. Along with our potential and abundant capacity, we decided to create a platform on how to master this reality.
My brother.
Yeah.
Let's end it off the way we started it, brothers. You know what I'm saying? I thank God that we're here together. and we have plans, and we're in the middle of mastering our chaos. So on 3, 2, 1.
Mastering the chaos.